Let's get it going. Sorry about the delay, folks. I'm gonna get this going real quick. There we go. All right. Pardon me. Peace, 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 peace. I'm Rami Salamel. Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining us. We have the news update. Jahmal Latimer, Rise of the Moors Militia Group leader, headed to trial. News update, news update. Today is July 16th, 2022, and I wanted to bring you all an update on what's been happening with the case as it heads into trial. We're going to get right into the case details, and actually it's two people headed to trial, and we will cover the other member first real quick, and this is Quinn Cumberlander. Let me see here. Peace, 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 peace. Appreciate people coming through. We're going to get right to it. Ready. That would be, if I'm not mistaken, Quinn Cumberlander and one of his court appearances. And let me just bring up the case details. And so Quinn Cumberlander, he has both him and Jahmal Latimer, aka Jamal Talib Bey, they both have court dates, jury trial coming up August 1st, 2022. But I wanted to go over some court appearances of Quinn Cumberland and just some news updates before it gets to trial. On July 11th, we have Marcia Teresa Kovner, Esquire, was dismissed / withdrawn as the appointed indignant defendant for Quinn Cumberlander. And on that date, also, pro se was added for Quinn Cumberlander. And it appears, if I'm not mistaken here, that Quinn Cumberlander has asked to represent himself in the matter. So the person that was representing him is now removed as his defense attorney. Yes. Was removed, and now he is going to be defending himself. Also, on the 14th, he was sent a notice to appear in court. I'll put the address, it's personal information. Right, yeah. So, just to be clear, the defendant waived right to counsel. A full colloquy given by Judge Kristen Buxton. Attorney Marcia Kovner dismissed his counsel. So he waived the right to counsel, going to be representing himself pro se in the case. Quinn Cumberlander. Peace, 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 peace. Noble, peace, K Fluid. Peace, Jane. I seen Jane make a comment. And the other folks in there. Mr. Sims. And then let me just get the other photo up here real quick. If I could. I should have had this ready, but I apologize, y'all, man. I had to get that pizza, man. It was a whole lot of traffic, so I got back later to the house. And anyways, that's not important. Let me just get this other information up for you. And so it's these two individuals are going to be the first up to trial, one being Quinn Cumberlander, the other being Jahmal Latimer, which would be the leader of the Rise of the Moors Militia Group. Let me just close this out, and then we're going to switch over to Jahmal. Information. Boom. Oops. Okay, there we go. And so for the other case information, let me pull this up, and they are going to be in Massachusetts, Middlesex Superior Court. I'm pulling the case information up right now. And then after this, I'm going to just highlight a couple things from the article from the Boston Globe that covered kind of what's been going on with the trial. So if you want to get a more official summary of what's been going on for about a year, I put the link in the comment box if you scroll back up, but I also put it in the description of the video after this is done. So you can just click that to get an update on what's been going on with the case. Okay. And for the questions in the comments, I'll address that as soon as I cover the update. Here it is here. So on July 11th, also Jahmal Latimer also had a court appearance. And it says that on this date, pro se was added for the defendant Jahmal. And also it was an attorney added for the Commonwealth, the prosecutor, Brian Raw Esquire, just for you to be informed. This was important that I thought wanted to highlight here. On the 14th of July, he had another court date in which bail was set at $80,000, surety $8,000 cash bond. So he was finally given bail. It was set at $80,000 for Jahmal. Was finally given bail after about a year of being in court and back and forth and all of that. He was finally given bail, set at $80,000, surety $8,000 cash. And it says that he had a bail warning read and the conditions of release on bail. This is what I wanted to highlight. Well, one was about where he must reside, which is in Rhode Island, private information. But the second part of the conditions of the bail is that Jahmal may not possess any weapons, firearms, rifles, guns, or incendiary devices. Defendant Jahmal acknowledged and agreed to all conditions on the record. I want to repeat that. This is important, and I'll highlight why after I'm done. A condition for the bail that he received on the 14th of July is that he may not possess any weapons, firearms, rifles, guns, or incendiary devices. And the defendant, Jahmal, acknowledged and agreed to all conditions on the record. It's very important. It's very important that I highlight that. Other than that, the Commonwealth responded to the defendant's pretrial motions and just some procedural stuff. And his his jury trial is set for August 1st at 9 a.m. In Massachusetts. So that is the highlights for that. Now, the reason why I find that important is, according to Jahmal and the Rise of the Moors Militia, they were standing on this principle that they could be armed in the Second Amendment and they have a right to have any of their guns and weapons. And that is part of what started this case. And rhetoric, position that they were holding since 2021 in July when they first were arrested. And now a full year later, about 2 weeks before his trial, he's now agreed to not possess any weapons, any firearms, guns. And it said the defendant acknowledged it on the record. And I just think that that's interesting because if he was willing to agree to that, I wonder why didn't he just do that from the beginning? You know, I don't understand the position, but I just find it interesting that 2 weeks out before the trial, he's finally agreed to a bail in which he cannot have any guns, weapons, firearms, etc. And that was one of the main stances that he was taking, and the Rise of the Moors Militia Group was taking in terms of firearms and guns. So I just thought that was very interesting. And then I also wanted to highlight this Boston Globe article real quick. Just highlight a couple of things. Well, I'll get the comments, I tell you. Let me get to this this last article real quick, and then I'll get to the comments and questions before I close it on out. But just to summarize, both Jahmal and Quinn Cumberlander and Jahmal Sanders Latimer both have jury trial on August 1st, 2022, for the charges that they received back from July 3rd, 2021. Those two are the only two remaining in custody. Well, I think it may just be Jahmal now. But as far as I know, those two were the only two individuals left out of the Rise of the Moors Militia Group that were still in custody, awaiting to get bail. True science. Wasn't a doohickey. Okay. So this article, let me scroll to the top, pardon me. See that there? Let me get this a little bit more clear. Get myself out the way. Can I zoom in a little bit? Yeah. Here we go. This article is from the Boston Globe. It was posted July 2nd, 2022 by Amanda Milkovitz and Tanya Alanes. Apologies if I mispronounced that. The article is titled, 1 year after the armed standoff, Rhode Island's Rise of the Moors is in limbo. The standoff with Massachusetts police shut down parts of I-95 in Wakefield and left local residents shaken. What has the so-called sovereign citizen group done since? And then scrolling on down, it's giving a kind of just a overview and summary of what happened. The group's self-proclaimed leader, Jahmal Sanders Latimer, live streamed the standoff over social media, insisted that the group was peaceful. A former U.S. Marine from Providence, he cited interpretations of court decisions and claimed his group was made up of sovereign citizens and their detention by police officers violated an 18th century treaty between the United States and Morocco. Jahmal, he said that they were exempt from U.S. laws and could travel with firearms and without licenses from Rhode Island to Maine to quote unquote train on private land. And to date, I still don't know if it's been clear or made clear what was this private land they were traveling to or what exactly they were doing training. Hopefully that gets cleared up during the trial. The confrontation ended peacefully with the arrest of 10 men and a 17-year-old boy. Among the weapons seized were 4 rifles, 3 pistols, a sawed-off shotgun, as well as loaded magazines and ammunition. The Rise of the Moors group used to make their presence known in the greater Providence area where they could be seen in Moorish attire, setting up tables and giveaways in downtown Pawtucket. They posted videos of their meetings online in which they openly carry firearms. They even made a music video. I'm not going to click the music video. See, just 2 still remain behind bars. The other 9 have been bonded out with promises not to possess firearms or contact their co-defendants while waiting to go to trial. And that may, let me just pause right here for a second. That may be why we haven't seen any of the people that have bonded out, why we haven't seen them make any statements publicly. I think because part of their bail condition is that they can't communicate with their other co-defendants and make any statements public. So, so that may be a particular reason why we haven't. Because I was always wondering, for the people that have already bonded out, how come they haven't made any public statements or, explain their position further or, made their presence known in any way. So that was kind of interesting. This was an important part that I wanted to highlight right here. Half of them opted to represent themselves in court with appointed lawyers acting as standby counsel, court records show. At an arraignment hearing in Malden District Court, the men sparred with the judge, asserting the court lacked authority to prosecute them. The theatrics bogged down the proceedings, as did disruptions from people logged on onto a live stream, complaining of high treason and lies. And I do recall that when they initially were arrested, and kind of hearing that in some of the live stream of the court proceedings, which was very unfortunate, and I don't think helped their situation, in my humble opinion. Let me get my opinion out of it. I found this interesting. I hadn't heard about this until I read this article. One of their supporters, brother Gary Densler of Black Lives Matter, Rhode Island, said he still appreciated that Latimer and his group took action. The Rise of the Moors used to have meetings in a space next to the Black Lives Matter's offices in Pawtucket. Their activities in Rhode Island usually involve trying to create legal loopholes. They posted a photo of themselves at a Rhode Island gun store and claimed that they used their Moorish IDs to fire at the range. The gun store owner told the Globe that never happened. They attempted to take over a vacant house on Broadway for their headquarters by creating their own documents. The house was sold to the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development in May 2021. A statement from a person claiming to be the chief minister, Sheikh Rashidi El. He said they're still the fools that they are. He went on to speak more critically about them. I don't necessarily want to read all of that. I don't necessarily. It seems it's a little bit much, kind of harsh on the criticism, so I'll pass that up. But he was very critical of the Rise of the Moors group. And here we go here. As it says, Latimer, 30, and Quinn Cumberlander, 41, who are from Pawtucket, are the first scheduled for a jury trial. A date is set for August 1st. Both men are charged with 2 counts of possession of a large capacity firearm, carrying a firearm without a license, and improper storage of firearms. Cumberlander, who goes by Quinn Kabir El, is also facing felony charges of possession of a sawed-off shotgun and possession of a large capacity feeding device. In Rhode Island, Providence police are charging him with 3 counts of false information in securing a firearm or license. And this article was prior to Cumberlander's court date, where he had his lawyer and did not return calls seeking comment. Now that lawyer was dismissed and removed, and he's just representing himself. Okay. And so Cumberlander actually he had granted $5,000 cash bail, I'm assuming $50,000 surety, and posted the bond last month. He agreed to attend all court dates. And Latimer, as I read earlier, his bail hearing went through with the $80,000 surety, $8,000 cash bond. Lastly here, there continues to be prejudice against me and my fellow Moors, Latimer wrote in a 34-page filing. There's clearly little hope for justice in our cases. justice based on the spirit of the law and not merely the colored letter of the law. Jahmal Latimer quote. I'll read this last part and then I'll finish up. Lamar Dow, a.k.a. Jamil Rasul Bey of Bronx, New York, was ordered to Bridge State Hospital on May 24th, court records show, to be committed for observation after failing to acknowledge the court or conduct himself accordingly. Court records show that Dow, who was 34 when he was arrested, has repeatedly disrupted court proceedings or declined to appear for hearings. At June 15th competency hearing, Dow refused to participate and was remanded back to the Billerica House of Corrections. His lawyer, Keith Durden, asked to withdraw from the case. Durden did not return calls seeking comment. So that is the article from the Boston Globe. And now I just wanted to get to the comments before I go ahead and close up. Peace, 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 peace. Peace, peace. Assalamu alaikum, brother. Let me go to the comments real quick. Let me scroll to the top. Let me just get these questions out of the way. If Jamal, I appreciate it. Saladin Bey, those guys has done nothing wrong. Jamal and the rest of his group will be set free by Allah. Interesting. He went on, Saladin Bey asked, what in the hell have these guys done? They were caught with guns, illegal guns, didn't have proper registration, license to carry, didn't properly store them. They also didn't have licenses while they were driving. A host of other charges. If you check the article I just was reading from, or the past videos that I've done, you can see more specifically the charges. But that is what they did. And this was over a year ago. So the militia has been stripped of their duties. They're not and just to be clear, again, if you're watching this, you're new to this, the rise of the Moors Militia Group is something completely separate from the Moor Science Temple of America, from true Moorish Americans, from followers of Noble Drew Ali and the teachings of Noble Drew Ali. So if you're seeing that and you're thinking all Moors are associated with them, or all Moors are interested in trying to take over houses or carry arms illegally or without proper registration and licenses, that's not the case at all. Farthest from it. That group is completely separate. This person says, Mika El Bey, they do have a right to carry arms. Why y'all don't talk about the colonizers and Christian black codes? This video is a news update, so I'm doing my best to stick to the actual news regarding the case. True Science Bay, he's not standing on his square anymore, referencing in Jamal. We got issues. I think he's doing a good job. No one knows what he's going through in that devil's jail. I'm for whatever he thinks he need to square up with these people. I don't know about we got issues. I think never mind. I apologize. I don't agree with that. But I appreciate your perspective. That's just part of the agreement so that he can get out, right? But he's not giving up his guns permanently, right? Well, I don't know, but I know as a condition of his bail, he cannot have any firearms, guns, weapons, incendiary devices of any kind. That's what I do know as a condition of his bail. So if he wants to be released from jail prior to his jury trial, he has to, and he did agree to that. Not he has to, he already did agree to it on the record, might I say. Rodriguez versus the United States codes, rules, and regulations don't apply. I don't know what that means in regards to this, but yeah. Dre Sean 3K, just want to say I just got up on this and been doing my due diligence. Definitely claiming my nationality now. Thanks for showing the truth. Peace. I think everybody should be proud of their nationality. Peace with a Z. Who is the victim? I don't know what you mean by that. Oh, were they driving or traveling? Actually, if you watch the video of the state trooper, when he approaches the person that's in the driver's seat of their car and they try to give that traveling spiel, he's like, we're not doing that. So that was already eliminated right from the jump. Yeah. Let me continue. Peace, peace, peace. He's been turned by COINTELPRO. The brother sold out. Are you referring to Jahmal's been turned by COINTELPRO, Malik Bey? I'm not quite sure who you're speaking about. I ain't got no issues. Yeah. What about water guns? Oh, come on, y'all. Come on, man. That's kind of funny. I apologize, but that's a little funny. So the leader of the militia agreed to the de facto government. Indeed, de facto, de jure, the United States government, however you're trying to frame it, he agreed to those conditions on the record. More truth, more lies. Massachusetts has tough gun laws. I can't legally carry there without a permit. Hey, got to respect the laws of the state you're in. That's why you should know. And just to be clear, Noble Drew Ali encouraged and commanded Moorish Americans to follow the law, to obey the law, to respect government, the United States government, the United States of America government, the Constitution. Yes. So true Moorish Americans are not about saying that the United States government doesn't have jurisdiction or they don't have authority or any of that nonsense. If you hear Moorish people speaking like that, please understand they're doing something completely separate, something completely different from the Moorish Science Temple of America, the teachings of Noble Drew Ali. They are not being honorable and noble, true Moorish Americans. So just beware when you see that. Malik Bey. There is no victim, you sell out clout chaser. Well, that is interesting. I'm just reporting the news. I don't understand that. But yeah, thank you for sharing your perspective. And that looks like, yeah, God bless and good day to you, sir. That looks like all of the questions. Were there any more questions before I get up out of here? It's clear that it's some individuals that apparently have something against me because I'm reporting the news. I apologize that your feelings are hurt, but I'm just doing this to make sure that other Moorish Americans and the general public are made aware of what's going on with the case. No. Thank you for the question. Peace, Brother Rami, True Nobles Entertainment. Has the FBI ever paid you a visit during your active years as a Moor? No, the FBI has never paid me a visit when I was a quote unquote black man, or any of the times since me doing these videos or coming under the awareness of being a Moorish American. No local investigators, officers. I wasn't part of any sort of military, Navy, Army, none the Marines. No disrespect to anybody that is. Just clarifying, I've never been in any sort of position like that. Don't have any payments from the CIA, the FBI, the DEA, the DHS, any of those agencies, but I understand. I understand well, actually, I don't really understand why people keep us alleging that, that nonsense. I'm a COINTELPRO agent, but ultimately, I think, and I appreciate the question. Ultimately, I think it's because they have a difficulty with accepting the reality of the situation. So rather than deal with the facts as they are, it's let's try to blame anybody else other than look at the reality of the situation. And it's unfortunate, but it's a term called cognitive dissonance. Um, Deflection, um, denial, you know what I mean? These kind of things. So it is what it is. Um, yeah, so-called master teachers giving out false information. Yeah. And that's the biggest thing, I think, also because of the fact that I am willing to be honest and sincere and let people know that, listen, these individuals have been misleading the people. This isn't the right way to go. We should listen to Noble Drew Ali's teaching. We should respect the law, respect government. I think it's because I take that position that those that are trying to mislead the people, those that are swindling the people, those that are using Noble Drew Ali's teachings as for a scam and to con people out of money and things of that nature, they're frustrated at me because I'm kind of, I don't like to use the word exposed, but I'm keeping it real. I'm being honest. And they don't want that because it messes up they money flow. You know what I mean? It's sad, but it's the truth of things. Um, yeah. Saladin Bey, I want to ask you something. Do you know what a firearm is? Explain to me what a firearm is. If you don't know, no, I don't need you to explain it to me. Whether you try to call it a gun, a firearm, a weapon, the facts are the facts. They were in Massachusetts, wasn't properly traveling, driving, moving, whatever you want to term it. They didn't have the proper license and registration, and and they were caught with the weapons, firearms, the guns, um, and now they are unfortunately going to trial to face the charges from that situation. You know, appreciate it. True Nobles Entertainment definitely playing word games. New More Order. They try to hit you with that razzle dazzle. They definitely try to hit people with that razzle dazzle. We're just gonna keep it simple and plain and simple. You know what I mean? Um, any other questions before I go? I don't want, I've been on here 30 minutes. I gotta get to shaking and moving, but I just want to make sure I answered any other questions, at least legitimate questions. You know, come on, Malik. I thought you said you was leaving, man. You don't have. I should have started this off at the beginning. But if you're watching this, especially after the live, and you want to comment, it's cool to comment your perspective or have your opinion, your viewpoint. I'm not saying you got to agree with how I see things, but just be respectful. I'm not disrespecting you. You ain't got to come with the disrespect to express yourself. You know what I mean? Oh, yeah, yeah. I'm not gonna read that paragraph. Um, Jamhal didn't get them locked up. They got themselves locked up. Yeah, they all got themselves locked up, including Jamhal. I will say that. They all are responsible for their actions. Um, it's unfortunate, you know what I mean? Well, and closing out also, I do plan on being on the Zoom live stream of the jury trial on August 1st. God willing, I had a time, and it doesn't get shut down because there's other people yelling out things like treason and lies and all of that stuff. So if they do have access to the Zoom live stream of the jury trial. I'm going to do my best to log on and view it so that I can I'm going to take some live notes and try to give, you know, breaking news or just as current as I can, keep people abreast of what's going on with the jury trial, because I do think it's important as Moorish Americans and the general public to know what's going on with this trial. And I have more to say after the trial is over. I've been doing my best to withhold my opinion and my comments on things in detail until after, the proceedings and everything plays itself out. Partly because, as you can see, it's some people that don't like me even reporting the news. So, you know. And speaking of praying, I appreciate that. I will say that you should pray for those individuals that are in court, and you should pray for everybody that's in jail or in prison. Pray for everybody, because everybody's going through some hard times. Yeah, and I'll find something to go ahead and close it out with. You know what I mean? I think it's important that you brought that up, especially as a Moorish American Muslim. And I close it out with a prayer, close it out with some sort of wisdom. And let's see. Let's see what I can find. I try to have something. Okay. Well, this is one of my favorites right here. This is Surah 14 from the Quran. The Holy Quran, brought to us by way of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. And in Surah 14:4, it says, "We sent not a messenger except to teach in the language of his own people in order to make things clear to them. So Allah leads astray those whom he pleases and guides whom he pleases. And he is exalted in power, full of wisdom." And further, what I've read from the Quran, it says or teaches that those whom Allah guides, no man can lead astray, and those whom Allah leads astray, no man can guide. And I think it's important as Moorish Americans, especially if you're Muslim, that you get into the teachings of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Read the Quran, read what it says for yourself, and be led on the right path by way of Allah. All praise is due. And also read the Circle 7 Quran for yourself. Don't be led astray by individuals that have created their own groups and that are teaching their own beliefs and their own ideology. You don't want to follow false prophets. You know what I mean? You want to follow the message of true and divine prophets. You know what I mean? As it teaches that we should honor all true and divine prophets, which is Jesus and Prophet Muhammad and Noble Drew Ali. All praises due. And with that, I say thank you for watching. Did I miss anything else? Appreciate it. That's all. Thanks to Allah in terms of the patience. You know what I mean? Anything positive you see from me comes from Allah. Anything negative, anything that I'm doing wrong, that's my own. Please forgive me of that. With that being said, most importantly, if nothing else, love instead of hate. Love is the key. Love is the way. Much love to you and yours. Assalamu alaikum to the Muslim and Muslim brothers and sisters out there, even the ones like Malik who have some hatred in their heart, even you. Much love to you and your family. Much love. Pray for everybody. Let's all have a great day. Peace and love.